welcome back to Apple Tree Allotment. Come down here, we're getting down towards the end of August now, 22nd I think it is. So yeah, starting to move towards September. We've got lots of great things growing. I'll show you around, and we've got some really exciting news to share with you as well. So I'll show you that after a little look around. I've got a couple of little jobs to do today. I brought down some water out of our water butt at home because that's full. So I'm going to put that in our one here, although that has actually filled up a lot. I'll show you that in a second. And I've just cleaned out our rabbit and guinea pig. So I brought down their hay and stuff to put in our compost. I do that every week when I come down after I've cleaned them out. Clear out obviously a few times a week. Bring their stuff down, and grass clippings as well. Bring down to putting our compost down here. Yeah, so I'll do those little jobs, and then we'll have a look around, see how everything's doing. So I've brought down these 2 water containers. I'm not sure how big these are. I don't know if they're 10 litres, 20. I'm not sure. No idea. They're the ones we use for camping normally, but I give them a good clean out. Our water butt, it was actually down, I'm sure it was down under sort of 200 litres last week. I don't think we've had that much rain. I'm not sure. Sometimes there's a guy on this allotment who's really handy, does loads of odd jobs around. Sometimes he has been known to put water in my water butt when he's got excess. So he might have put a little bit in. Either that or we've had some really good rain. But yeah, either way, it's filling up nicely, which is really good to see. So I'm just going to tip these 2 in. I've never actually done it, but I'll probably just tip them in the guttering, I think, because I don't think I can reach into the hole in the middle. But yeah, I just thought I might as well use the excess rather than it going to waste. Next little job I'm going to do, I just found out some sticks I had from last year. I had the beans up these, I think. Our Monge 2 peas, they're getting massive now, they're brilliant. But I'm just going to put these canes in the middle, give them something a little bit to climb up. I'm not too fussed because they're kind of just climbing up each other and in a mass. But yeah, I'm just going to chuck some sticks in. And if I find some more, I'll build another little teepee. There's my little temporary teepee with a bit of baling twine off the horse manure bags we had, and a few old sticks. Hopefully that'll help support some of them. I can't see any peas on any of these yet. They're looking really good, really healthy. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some good crop off of these. So let's have a little look around at what's growing and how everything's doing. Got our 2 pumpkin beds in the front here. There's 3 plants in each of these beds. And I think these were planted quite a bit after the 2 three-sister bed ones. So there's not any pumpkins I can see yet, but there's lots of flowers and vines. The vines are all grown. I mean, the last week they've grown another metre or so out here. I'm trying to contain them in our allotment. Our plot sort of comes out to this corner out here, in line with the mud kitchen there. And we try and keep this space clear for picnicking, playing, kids playing, and putting, sort of setting up our tools and things. Yeah, so they're sort of taking over that space. They're doing really well. There's lots of nice flowers in there. So hopefully these will catch up and start growing some pumpkins soon. Yeah, there's loads of flowers in there. But I haven't seen any little plants yet. But yeah, hopefully they'll be caught up soon. In our 3 sisters beds, we've got our 2 pumpkin plants in there, or 4. I think there's 2 in each bed. There's 4, and they have been producing pumpkins. I'll show you my really big one in a minute. And obviously we've got our corn, which is already starting to go a little bit brown on the ends. So I'm not sure if that's going to be ready really early this year. Yeah, we've got a little ladybird friend just hiding out in there. She looks really sweet. Yeah, so the corn's doing well. Beans climbing up them, doing really nicely, coming right up the top. Some of them have got little flowers and buds on. So yeah, I'm hoping for some nice beans this year. I think there was a mix of different beans in there. So there was some sort of green beans, and there was some different varieties as well. So it'll be interesting to see what grows, what ended up where. I did come down at the start of the week. I found, I think, 3 little bean plants that I'd missed at home in the seed trays. So I planted those out. So there's one there, one over here, and there was another one in the other bed, I think. Yeah, so I did those, and I did some more stuff in another bed, which I'll show you. Yeah, so this bed has got the giant pumpkin in. So it's getting really big. It's probably 40 centimeters across, I reckon. Guess. Yeah, it's really massive. And I don't know if anyone's got any idea. I don't know whether we should harvest this now. Is that as sort of good as it's going to get? I don't want it to rot, obviously. That's really be a real shame. Or I don't know if we should leave it through to September. They normally say that you harvest September, October on those variety. Yeah, so if you know, I'd be thankful for a bit of help. Beans are looking really good on this bed. And around here we've got some more nice pumpkins. So this is the other variety, I think. They're looking really good. These ones are much more dense. So I think these will be better for cooking with. Get more flesh out of them. Yeah, really looking really nice. There's some more little ones on the ends of the vines. Yes, I'm really happy with the 3 sisters. I'll definitely do that again. It'd be nice next year to have more corn, get more sweet corn going, and put in all the beds with the pumpkins in. I really love the squash. It's really nice to grow squash, and I want to do patty pan little summer squash next year to go with the courgettes, and our butternut squash really haven't done anything this year, so it's a shame because we did so well last year with those. So yeah, I really want to try and get some more of those next year. So yeah, so you can see the vines come out right the way along the beds, which is great. Hopefully I'll get some nice pumpkins on there. Yeah, so the other job I did at the start of the week was plant the last batch of the Christmas potatoes. So we've got some Charlotte potatoes that go in now, and they'll be ready in a couple of months. So we've got 4 beds of those. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Just had to get them in where we could fit them in. So I think I did that one first, then these 2, and then that one last. So at the moment, these 2, but can't see anything. Obviously those ones have just gone in. But this bed, I've just noticed today, have started to come up. So that's really cool. Got some nice foliage starting to come up. So it's good to see they're growing well. Hopefully that might stage them growing a bit. I'll probably keep them in the ground at least until it starts to get frosty, and store them and use them as we need them. We've still got all of our second earlies we're eating at the moment. We're sort of about a third of the way through the box. We've eaten all the first earlies now, so they're gone. Yeah, first earlies lasted a month. We haven't bought any other potatoes, so that's really good. Hopefully the seconds will last another 6 weeks or so, because we had 3 beds of those. We had 2 beds of first, 3 beds of seconds, and I've still got the main crop to dig up. Yeah, and then this other bed, we've got this courgette plant. There's a couple of little courgettes on there I might pick. I did also find these 3 butternut squash plants, but again they're not very happy. I don't know what's wrong with that batch. They're just not very good plants. I did pull out, there was a courgette plant here that wasn't very happy, so I pulled that out and chucked them in just to see if they do anything. I'll keep watering them, see if they get anywhere, but I doubt it. But it was worth a go. So yeah, so here's the other side of the allotment. So we've got our potatoes in there we planted start of this week. And next to them we've got our courgettes. Got quite a few to harvest on here this week. There's loads of the yellow one is so much more prolific than the green ones. So yeah, I'm so happy we planted those. We've had absolutely loads, probably had 3 times the amount of yellow ones this year. I mean, we're getting maybe 1 or 2 a day from the plants at home, and then here, I mean, you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 or 8 to harvest. There's a big green one there that looks like it's a little bit been chimbled on by something, and there's another big one down the bottom there. But yeah, there's definitely 4 or 5 yellow ones there to harvest, so I'll take them home. I've done this week, we've been using them basically every day cooking, but we've also frozen. I froze about 8, I think. I chopped them all up, blanched them and put them in the freezer. Yeah, so we've got a fair amount in the freezer as well, which is great. Not complaining at all about that. Over here we've got our main crops, so we cut the tops off them a couple of weeks ago, I think. And I'll have another dig, but I think they were looking absolutely fine last time I looked. And I'm going to leave them in there until we've had a few more of the second earlies, and then I'll start digging these up and we can start using them. I'm hoping there'll be about a month's worth of potatoes for us in here. There certainly was in the firsts. So yeah, so really pleased with those. We've done so well this year. It'd be great if we do as well with the Christmas ones. Next 2 beds have really come on as well. So we've got spring onions this side, and they're putting on some height. So yeah, got a whole bed of those. They're doing well. And then over here I've got just under a grid just because I had it spare. We've got the leeks, and again, yeah, they're doing all right. I'll thin these out as they get a bit bigger when I can handle them. I'll thin them out a little bit because there's quite a few quite close together. Yeah, it looks like we've got some nice leeks. And once I get up to the height of this grid, I'll take that off. But at least it stops anything jumping on them. I did see, just as I was coming in, I just saw a squirrel running around the allotment. So I don't know what he's been. If squirrels eat anything, I mean, obviously they eat nuts and things. I don't know if they eat any seeds. Yeah, but it's the first time I've seen a squirrel here. This bed at the back is empty at the moment. It's the only empty space on the allotment at the moment. At home I've got chard and beetroot plants. So I think my plan is probably to put the beetroot in this bed, once they're a little bit bigger. And then the 2 main crop potato beds, as soon as they're out, I'll plant the chard in there, and we'll get 2 beds of those going over winter, and then we can eat that over winter into spring. Would be fantastic. Yeah, and then the last bed is the Monge 2 peas. So I put a little teepee up, hopefully they'll climb up that a bit. I'll go and find some more sticks, see if I can put another one up the other end. That'd be nice just to give them a bit of space. The tree at the back, the crab apple tree, is starting to put on some fruit. So we started talking about all the winter preserves and things. Noticed the blackberries are out around here now. They're just sort of the first week of them being around. So we'll probably start blackberry picking really soon. But yeah, these little apples are all starting to grow. So we'll do some more crab apple jelly and see what else we can put them in. Yeah, but that's the allotment this week. So I'm going to go and harvest those courgettes, and I'll show you how many we get out. And then I'm going to give everything a good water. It has been supposed to rain today. It's sort of light drizzle, so it's not really enough to soak the beds, I don't think. So I want to give it a little water just as well, just to make sure it's got some water in the beds. But yeah, everything's doing really well. I don't know whether to train. I might train these maybe down this way, try and keep them in one place. Yeah. Here's our courgette harvest for the day. I hadn't even spotted this big green courgette. It was right at the bottom of the plant. So yeah, lucky I spotted that, or it would have been ginormous. Yeah, so I picked those 2, and then we've got 5 yellow ones. These are a little bit smaller, but I thought I'd pick them before they go crazy. They're often a bit nicer when they're quite small. That's all my jobs done for today down the allotment. I've given it a good water. It is starting to drizzle. I think it's going to do this all afternoon, but it's not enough to sort of soak the soil. So yeah, so I'm glad I've done that, given it a bit of water. Yeah, so the one last thing to show you is some exciting news for us. We've been wanting more space. As you can see, we fill up every inch of our plot, and I'd love to have more room to grow more variety, and more of what we got. Yeah, we've really tried to fill out this allotment. It's probably a half allotment compared to a lot of sites, maybe just over. So it's not as big as some I've seen in other places. So luckily, we've been looking around for ages. Luckily, the plot next to us has finally come up. It's had different people on it over the last 3 years. None of them have really made it work. I've not ever really seen them down here, for one reason or another. I'm not sure why, because it's a good pitch. So it's about the same size as ours, I would say. So I'll show you. So it's literally right next to us in the corner. So it's next to the fields. So I think I've talked about it before, being very weedy. So yeah, so this is coming up. We're 99% sure we're going to be able to have it. We're just sort of talking about it and working out the fees. So it goes up to where that shed is. So we're probably going to have the shed, and hopefully those water butts will stay there. It has got this greenhouse on. I don't think we're going to have that because you'd have to pay for it. I don't think we'd use a greenhouse at the allotment. We'd be better off with it at home so we can water it regularly. I'd probably rather have that space as a growing space, and then have a little greenhouse at home if we can. But yeah, as I said, it's about the same size as ours. At the moment, it's got this, I think it's a plum tree, and they're talking about moving that. There is a little orchard that they're trying to grow over the other side, and people have bought trees and sort of got their name on them. So we're talking about moving this tree over to the orchard. I think that's a good idea. It would probably cause a lot of shade. The sun sort of comes across this from the greenhouse side over, so it probably would shade out a lot of this. And versus sort of the amount of food I could grow in that space, I think it's probably worth moving it, and it would still be ours anyway. So yeah, so at the moment, the allotment committee have cut back all the weeds. We'd be able to have it from September, I think. So not quite yet, but a few weeks' time. They've cut back all the weeds because they were getting ridiculous. They were getting right up to this fence. But I think it would be up to me to sort out the rest. So yeah, we're having a good think about what we could do with it. There are some sort of raised beds in here all over the place. There are some paving slabs down the middle. So I'd probably keep the paving slabs and do something around them. There's an old compost bin there with some pallets and things. Yeah, so we're gonna we'll have a measure up another day and see how big it is, and then we can do a bit of a plan. I think the people who've got it at the moment are going to come back and pick up their tools that are just spread around. Yeah, and they spent a little bit of money. They put this fence up and put that play sand in the middle and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame they never quite got to grips with it. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to take this on, and this will be my winter into next year project of trying to sort of get it into shape, get rid of all these weeds. There's a big strawberry patch in the middle, which the plants look really old now. They're quite leggy, so I think we'll probably just clear that out. It'd be very tempting just to clear the whole thing out of all the wood and everything and start from scratch and just reuse the wood. But yeah, we shall see. It's an interesting project going forward. I'll let you know how it goes if we definitely have it, and yeah, you'll certainly see a lot of it if we do take it on. It'd be nice to have the shed, so at least we can keep a few things here, and the roof is obviously really good for the water butts. Potentially put a bigger water butt on it, but another one of these 1,000 litre, the ICU tanks, I think they're called. Yeah. But yeah, I thought I'd show you that as a possibility for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to get that, and it will look more like this, our allotment, in a year's time or more. Obviously a big job. It's taken us, we've had this plot a year and a half, I think, and we've finally got all the beds in and the paths done and things. Even so, there's still things I'd like to do. Still need to sort out the back a bit, decide if we're going to put more beds there or flower beds, or yeah, just try and make the most of the space. But anyway, yeah, hope you all enjoyed that look around the allotment. Be interesting to hear what you're growing, what you're having success with. I know loads of people have had problems with tomatoes this year with blight. We pulled up ours, they were at the back here. We pulled up ours this year at the allotment, but the ones at home are doing absolutely amazingly. We're getting cherry tomatoes every day off them, and the bigger slicing tomatoes are there's about 2 that are just about to be red in the next few days, and then there must be 50 tomatoes on there that are green, so they'll be amazing when they start getting red. We're gonna have a big glut of those, I think. As I said, we're getting courgettes every day out of the garden. Carrots are looking okay in the garden. Yeah, it's all going well. So I hope you're all doing well, keeping healthy, and growing lots of veg, enjoying harvesting lots of veg and fruit. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon, and hopefully with more news on more space and Christmas potatoes.